Fusionism is a political ideology that mixes traditionalist and social conservatism with political and economic right libertarianism in an attempt to create a synthesis that would become basically the modern-day conservative movement. It was apparently created in a meeting room at the National Review during the 50s, where William Buckley Jr. brokered a meeting with an extraordinary mix of libertarians, traditionalist conservatives, anti-communists, and even an anarchist, well, I would assume an anarcho-capitalist, to create an ideology that would basically become the basis of the modern-day conservative movement. The ideology is closely related to his associate editor, Frank Meyer, who was considered the perfect mix of right libertarianism and social conservatism to facilitate the two groups working together. Meyer, writing in his book, In Defense of Freedom, the basic ideas of Fusionism: the state should protect freedom but otherwise leave virtue to individuals. The state has only three legitimate functions: police, military, and operating a legal system, all necessary to control coercion, which is immoral if not restricted. So basically minarchism if they also happen to hate gay people. The ideas laid out in what he said basically opens the door to everybody on the right side of the political aisle to basically work under some big umbrella term where they can all say, hey, we at least agree on this. Basically a big tent movement, but tied only to right-wingers, an antithesis of multi-tendency groups. This ideology did not really have a say in our political discourse until the GOP failed big time in 1976, which was attributed to them going the full Rockefeller Republican route of certain party heads rather than going with their conservative base, which basically led to the big conservative wave of the 80s, where the right asserted dominance over the GOP and basically accepted that fusionist route through and through, even going so far as to basically kick out the people who did not agree with them, i.e. the centrists and the, I guess you could say, liberal Republicans. And while Buckley was sort of the grandfather of the movement, Ronald Reagan basically became the father of the movement because he had just enough appeal to basically make paleocons, neocons, libertarians, social conservatives, Dixiecrats, basically a lot of them to like him. And while you might think this might be a thing of a bygone era, not really, because the GOP essentially is still a fusionist party because they have a large group of people who would fit under a lot of ideological spectrums. People who you would consider previous Dixiecrats, paleocons, neocons, libertarians, social conservatives, white supremacists. They have every brand of right-winger you can think of. So while the name itself is sort of unknown, and a lot of people nowadays are kind of forgetting about this strategy, you know, it's still a relevant part of the GOP and is at least partially worth discussing. Thanks for watching this video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that bell to be notified when a future video of mine comes out. And if you're interested in more content from me, you can go to my website, follow me on Twitter, join my Discord, or check out my articles in the Independent Political Report.